Wolf and James Jones were on hand at Titans training camp during Inside Training Camp Live right here on the network. Here are some of the sights and sounds from Nashville. Time for some Camp Chronicles.
Some talented guys. Obviously, a guy like Pat who's kind of transformed the position a little bit, plays a different way, and now a lot of other guys are starting to incorporate aspects of his game into theirs. So they're fun to watch. Obviously, a lot of big arms, a lot of speed, a lot of talent, and really kind of changed the game. So it's been fun for me to kind of be in the middle there, right? I'm the old guy now, but I'm not ancient yet. So try to continue to learn from those guys. The things that I like about their game, things that I can incorporate into my game, and I enjoy watching them when I'm not playing against them.
When I found out, I didn't really believe it. I was like, this has got to be a joke. My phone was blowing up, and it was like, this is really real. So, but since you've been here, man, we've been together, learning so much from him. Just these talks daily, So it's football stuff and life stuff too. So we was already close, but this just made us even closer.
I knew eventually my time would come. Just had to stay with it. Just keep working. Stay focused, persevere through anything. This game comes with adversity, so you just gotta get through it. And I definitely appreciate all the times that I've had to get here, and just trying to stay hungry and keep getting better year after year.
Just like his teammates, Derrick Henry looking fresh, looking ready to go for 2021. Let's take a look at where he left off last season. First, number 1 in the NFL in each of these categories last season, 2,027 rushing yards, the 5th most in NFL history. 27 yards, just a sprinkle on the cake on top of that. 2K. Would another 2,000-yard season do something crazy for Derrick Henry's legacy? That's the question. That would be unbelievable.
A second consecutive 2K, 2x 2K.
Oof.
It would be unbelievable. This is what that would happen. He would be in the Mount Rushmore conversation for running backs. You would hear the GOAT word going around. Understand what he's up against. He just won. These are the guys who have done it so far. If you look at the prior 2,000-yard rushers, this is what they did the next year. Guys, it's really, really humbling, okay? Even Eric Dickerson, who rolled out of bed with 300 yards, wasn't even close. Followed along 1,200, 1,000. Barry Sanders has been done the most. The greatest runner in the history of football, 1,491. Not even close. Over 500 yards away. Derrick Henry, we don't know. TD got hurt.
The Juice came in 1,000?
The Juice was fine. It was great. It was great. O.J. Simpson, very good running back. But not even close to 2,000. It's never been done. So you understand that the last person to even go back-to-back like Derrick Henry just did was LaDainian Tomlinson. The last player to go 3 times in a row like he's trying to do this year, Emmitt Smith. That's just leading the league in rushing. It has been a long time. However, Peter brought this up yesterday, which is why this is fun. It immediately makes Derrick Henry in the Hall of Fame conversation. And if he does it, first of all, he has another game to do it, too. There's 17 games. So maybe we have a glimpse of possibility. It would be like someone in the post-steroid baseball era going 60-plus, 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 unheard of. And I also think that if he does it on a team with Julio Jones and A.J. Brown, I think they're probably playing in the AFC title game, if not the Super Bowl.
Whoa.
It would open everything, and it would be a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, the goal isn't to play forever. The goal is to leave a legacy. So, with a running back who they say shelf life doesn't last a lifetime, we know that they have to take advantage of these small windows. And people are sitting at home saying, what, did they just say Hall of Fame? Are you serious? We're talking about Derrick Henry. Yes, we did say Hall of Fame. Because you're right. If he goes out there and hits this 2K, now you can't describe this era of football without Derrick Henry. You have to mention his name. And what do we say all the time? That's the mark of a Hall of Famer, that in their era of football, you can't talk about that part of history without talking about them. A guy just went into the Hall of Fame, Calvin Johnson, who some would argue, well, he doesn't have the longevity. He doesn't have the playoff wins or the memorable moments in the postseason. Hell, he doesn't even have a Super Bowl ring. It doesn't matter, though, because Calvin Johnson was one of the best of his era, hands down. If he does this, now we are talking about one of the best running backs of all time, Hall of Famer, and on top of that, if he solidifies himself with getting a ring, it's over. We might start talking about him in the top 3 to ever strap him up and play in the backfield. So I would love to see it. And because Derrick Henry plays so physical in the later part of the season, I do think this is a strong possibility. When you showed that list, the reason why a lot of those guys had that dip is because in November and December, it got cold. These guys didn't want no smoke.
Interesting.
Derrick Henry, no, he gets better and stronger as the season goes on. And with that extra game, I think it's more of a possibility than ever, Peter.
Yeah, and when I think of the great running backs of all time, of course it's like Emmett and Barry and all these guys. They always had some big January moment also where they showed up in a big playoff game and Franco Harris is having the immaculate reception. And you think, oh, well, what's Derrick Henry? Derrick Henry 2 years ago was amazing in the playoffs and took a Titans team that no one thought would do anything and went into Foxborough, beat them, and then went into Baltimore and beat them. That Baltimore game is his coup de grace. If you want to talk about Hall of Fame, like what is the argument going to be made? Goes into Baltimore. The Ravens are the #1 team in the league. They hadn't lost since September, I think. He's throwing touchdown passes. He's gashing them for runs. And then afterwards, if you remember, he was wearing a crown out of M&T Bank Stadium, basically saying, I own this thing. If it wasn't for Patrick Mahomes and a crazy, insane run at the end of the first half of an AFC Championship game, you could say that Derrick Henry not only has this is Earl Thomas. I mean, that might have been I think, honestly, that might have been Earl Thomas's last game. I don't think he's played since then because he wasn't in the league last year. So
Nate's Calvin comparison is good, but Calvin doesn't have this.
Calvin doesn't have this.
He doesn't have this postseason stuff.
Calvin doesn't have this. Barry's had a couple playoff games, but never had one of these. So, look, Derrick Henry, if you do tell me 2,000 yards, again, especially in today's game, where it's all about passing and it's 5,000-yard quarterbacks roll out of bed in the morning, Derrick Henry, not only Hall of Famer, but if he does 2,000 again, that's 3 straight years of crazy seasons with some playoff wins that are on his back. That's Hall of Fame.
So, just if he retired after next year, that's a Hall of Fame career?
That's a great question. I don't know.
He's also in the 99-yard run club, which is a very exclusive club too. He's got a lot of things going for him.
Think about, here's another name, J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt had that run where he was the best defensive player on the football. J.J. Watt doesn't have a ton of playoff moments. J.J. Watt hasn't made it to a Super Bowl, but J.J. Watt is a Hall of Famer, right? One of the best ever played.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Right? So there's this run of time where J.J. was dominant, run of time where Calvin was dominant, a run of time where Derrick Henry is dominant. And another thing we haven't mentioned yet, when people 10 years from now, 15 years from now, look back at Derrick Henry's highlights, he's running up against stacked boxes. He's just now getting a legitimate passing game. Ryan Tannehill has found himself, and A.J. Brown is a beast. But over the last few years, we're talking 8, sometimes 9 in the box. And Derrick Henry, with that great offensive line, let's give them credit, is bursting through stacked defenses, trying to stop the run every single game.
I know.
Running backs are hot right now. They're back. From just to cap it off from a fantasy perspective, there's a lot of depth. They're really top-heavy, some heavy hitters at the top. And he comes in 3rd overall, NFL.com, and among running backs. And I get it. He's behind guys like Christian McCaffrey and Dalvin Cook. He's ahead of guys like Alvin Kamara and Saquon Barkley, who play so huge in the passing game. But I think with the consistency and the volume, I can't fault anybody for taking Derrick Henry #1 overall when it comes to your draft.
It's a great call, and I agree with you. I will only say this. I'm very interested to see where Derrick Henry comes out in the NFL top 100 that the players vote on. J.J. Watt was #1 once on that list, which means all the players, #1.
Yeah.
Do the players vote Derrick Henry as better than Kamara, better than
This
Dalvin?
guy had him in his top 5.
Better than Mahomes.
I don't know. All the positions.
Yeah.
Is he top 5? Derrick Henry is a fascinating one to see how the players think of him.
He wasn't in your top 5. He wasn't in yours.
He wasn't in mine either. And the way it looked, like with the NFL being such a quarterback league, I didn't even consider him in the top 5. But yet you brought him up yesterday as a top 5 player. We'll see what they say.